Fall in love with 251 exclusive offers on the Citroën range at Hugo Luna Motors today. Explore our impressive collection of Citroën cars and vans, where advanced comfort, style, safety and reliability all come together. Order your 251 today and take advantage of low-rate finance, a €500 deposit contribution and avail of a free home charger. Book your test drive today at hugolunamotors.ie. Citroën. For everyone, like no one.
Citroën.
Health and Fitness with David Hollywood.
Hello and welcome to this week's programme. Lots to look forward to, so let's get straight into the agenda. National No Smoking Day is on next week. TUS Athlone and their Green Campus Committee, along with their pharmacy technician students, are encouraging people to pack in smoking and vaping. Green Campus Committee Chair and TUS lecturer Gary Stack has all the details. The Healthy Ireland 5K Road Race Series and the Endurance Series, including the Ashling Murphy 4-miler, are back for 2025. Offaly Athletics Chair Darren Butler's on with us this evening. The Leinster School of Dance is celebrating another All-Ireland success after their trip to Belfast. We hear from the All-Ireland winners and their teacher, and our reporter Jack Irwin talks to Ballyfin National School, who are looking to set a very new and unusual record to raise funds for a new sports facility. Next week, March 5th, Wednesday, is National No Smoking Day. It's also Ash Wednesday. Loads of events taking place across the country to mark the day and the week itself. TUS Athlone, no different as well. Their Green Campus Committees come up with a really interesting idea, encouraging staff and students to stop smoking and vaping. They're doing it on Tuesday, the 4th of March. With all of the details, and sitting in with me on Health and Fitness this evening to have a conversation around the whole idea of campaigning against smoking, I suppose, looking at what's going on in TUS Athlone, is Gary Stack, qualified pharmacist, lecturer and the course coordinator for the pharmacy technician programme at TUS Athlone. He's also the chair of the aforementioned TUS Athlone Green Campus Committee. Gary, thanks very much for joining us on the programme.
Great stuff. Thanks a million for having me, David.
Not at all. Let's have a look at Wednesday is No Smoking Day. Tuesday, March 4th, you guys have got an initiative on campus to try encourage people to stop vaping and to stop smoking. Give us the details of what's going to happen. What's that going to look like on the day?
Okay, so on Tuesday the 4th of March, the Bachelor of Science Pharmacy Technician students, which are a group of my students, a fabulous group of 19 women, are participating in an event to encourage staff and students on campus to consider stopping smoking and vaping. And we've been very lucky over the last number of months that we've had great interactions with the HSE Health Promotion Unit, in particular Darina Hart and Catherine Gallagher. And they worked with us to explore different strategies for encouraging people to stop smoking and stop vaping. So this event now, next Tuesday, the 4th of March, is a culmination, I suppose, of all the work of the students, the HSE Health Promotion Unit locally, and I suppose myself as part of the Green Campus Committee have put in to try and make a tangible impact on campus to encourage people to stop smoking and to stop vaping.
Very good. What is it exactly you guys are going to be doing then to encourage people? Are you stopping people in their tracks on campus and checking if they smoke, or what's the story there?
Yeah, so there is great crack all together planned for the event on the day. So we'll be there from about 9 o'clock in the morning, I suppose officially starting at 10 until 2. We'll be located right in the middle of the main canteen in the main campus here in TUS Athlone. And the plan is that the HSE Health Promotion Unit will have participation from them. So Darina and Catherine will be there on the day. And they will be specifically trying to encourage people to sign up for their one-to-one smoking cessation support service. So that's a one-to-one support that people can sign up for. We can sign up people right there on the day. And it's about trying to encourage people to take that extra step above and beyond just considering stopping, but to actually seeking official one-to-one support. And if we can get people signed up to that program, studies would suggest that they're far more likely to actually go ahead and be successful in any attempt that they want to quit. So we'll have Darina and Catherine there. They'll have a whole host of literature. They'll be there to answer any questions. They'll be there to provide advice on the best strategies for stopping smoking right there on the day for anybody who's interested. They'll also be checking smokers' levels of carbon monoxide So again, I suppose it's kind of an interactive element, and something that you can show people. It's like, look, it is affecting your breathing. Your levels of carbon monoxide are such that your health and your well-being are acutely being affected on the day. And we have them participating as a major part of the event. And then from the students' point of view, the students have worked very hard to design a whole host of interactive activities to draw attention, to get people thinking. They've produced fantastic visuals, information taken from reputable sources, principally the HSE information, and they've presented it in a really nice, really visual, eye-catching way. There'll be balloons, there'll be music, and a big part of it is the interactive element. So they will, exactly like you say, if you're walking by the main canteen on Tuesday, you're going to hear from these students. They're going to be asking people about their smoking status, whether they vape, and whether they'd be interested in finding out more information about the impacts that it can have and about stopping. But it's very important. It is supposed to be upbeat. It's supposed to be fun, but principally it's supposed to be professional and respectful. It's very important that people don't feel in any way pressured or stigmatized for their smoking status. With all of these things, the person who smokes or vapes, ultimately it's all in their hands whether they decide that they want to try and stop. And if they do, if they're interested, if they even want to find more information about that, we have a fantastic team of students and staff ready there to help them. So they have some really cool bits and bobs. So they have an exercise bike set up right there in the main canteen, and they're encouraging people to compete to see who can complete 500 meters on the bike in the quickest time. So there'll be a leaderboard. There'll be your serious competitive element in the day. And I suppose, again, the idea and the connection with smoking cessation and vaping cessation is to start conversations. And that's what it's all about. Starting conversations with people, smokers and non-smokers, trying to make them aware of the impacts of smoking on their cardiorespiratory fitness, etc. And the bike and the interactive element and the visual element and the fun element and competitive element of that all adds to how easy it is to break in and have those conversations. There's also quizzes, and there are a competition about guessing how many vapes that they have in a jar, ones that have been disposed of. And we'll also be encouraging people to just surrender their vape right there on the day. Put your vape in the pot, get rid of it, and we'll enter you in a raffle for some great prizes. And we've also had brilliant participation from some local pharmacies who've sponsored some prizes. So we'll have all of their details on social media. We're still waiting to confirm some of the prizes at present, but we'll have all their details on social media, and to thank them and acknowledge their participation and support to the event. So loads of prizes, loads of crack, competitive element, and principally then loads of information about stopping smoking, about stopping vaping, about the impacts of them all, and about, I suppose, relating back to our pharmacy technician students, relating back to how your local pharmacy, wherever you might be in the country, can help you to consider smoking and vaping, and also to promote the HSE Health Promotion Unit and the work that they can do to help people to stop smoking and vaping.
Well, Gary, that was emphatically all bases covered. Fair play to you. Some really interesting points there. The first basic premise I wanted to come back to you on is the manner in which you're approaching encouraging people to relinquish their vaping or smoking habits. Like, it strikes me that the intended tone here is constructive rather than negative. And I imagine that's based in an understanding that people are far more likely to engage with any sort of concept, be it giving up smoking or otherwise, if they feel that they've made an assertive move themselves and decided it. So negative pressure isn't what you're looking to apply here. It's encouraging positive pressure to look at how one's life can improve if they make this move.
Oh, absolutely, David. I think you've captured something that's so important about this whole approach. It has to be the person themselves who chooses to stop. And that's the basic premise of the whole thing, because we're not going to be there in the evening when they're out with their friends, after a hard day at work. We're not going to be there to again, berate them for smoking or that they shouldn't smoke. And the messaging you'll see, like, universally has moved away from that. It's about the benefits, it's about the positives, about principally the health benefits, and the health benefits of stopping smoking in particular are absolutely enormous. But there's also the financial benefits, and the students that will have on hand on the day the HSE calculator. If people tell the students how many cigarettes they're smoking in the day, we'll be able to calculate roughly how much that is a year. And the numbers are eye-watering. You'd have a great holiday for the price of cigarettes for the year. And again, it's about all of the other benefits to your skin, to your cardio and respiratory fitness, to your ability to participate in events, and then your ability to live a longer, ultimately, and healthier life. And it has to be positive messaging. Certainly, I think the days of scowling at people is long gone. People aren't going to take that. It's about do you want to choose to make this positive change for your health for the better? And if so, here's a whole load of information to really cement your willpower. And here's a whole load of resources that can help. And not to be too heavy on the facts and figures, but like if you do seek out the support, you're more than twice as likely to succeed in your quitting attempt.
Okay.
And that can start on Tuesday when we meet the students and the HSE Health Promotion team.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Like I've seen some of the stats from the HSE in terms of if you engage with their support programs, the likelihood of getting off cigarettes or vapes is massively increased. Listening to you here as well, it sounds like the students have great ownership and authorship of the programme of events that are taking place on Tuesday. From your perspective, heading up the pharmacy technician programme, you must be thrilled and delighted with the experience, the exposure and the professionally relevant activities that the students are taking part in the build-up to this and on the day.
Oh, absolutely. We're very proud of the students. It's fantastic. So the current cohort of students that we're talking about here, they're currently completing their BSc pharmacy technician qualification. So they're all already, before they started this year, qualified pharmacy technicians, and they've chosen to go on and study for an additional year. So they're already, putting their hand up as future leaders in their profession. And a big part of the focus of the year is additional skills, advanced practices that they can bring with them to their workplace wherever they end up. And we put an awful lot of emphasis this year in particular on health promotion as a key component of interactions that we have with patients in our pharmacies, in the hospitals. And there's a fantastic opportunity when you're interacting with people and having discussions around their health, around their medicines, to talk about lifestyle, because lifestyle is such a essential component. It's like people often say, if stopping smoking, if you could package that as a medicine and give it to people, the benefits of it would be enormous. If you could package up exercise as a tablet and give it to people, the benefits would be enormous. And no conversation about somebody's health, if you're talking about medicines, etc., would be complete without talking about all the other factors as part of their life. No, but we're very proud of the students. And like you say, they have taken massive ownership of this event, in relation to the activities that we're going to do on the day and how we're going to interact with people. But we have had amazing support from the local HSE Health Promotion Unit, and they've been fantastic. The students have completed some online training related to health promotion in practice, and we were lucky enough to have Dorina and Catherine from the HSE Health Promotion Unit in with us doing face-to-face training as well with the students throughout the year. So I think they're growing in confidence as the weeks go by, and hopefully the culmination of all our work in health promotion will be this event where we can see the benefits, see people signing up for the one-to-one smoking support, see people putting in their vape and saying, no, I'm going to knock it on the head. And that's what we want to try and achieve on Tuesday.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've no doubt that you're going to make some really important progress on the issue when it comes to these students reaching out and trying to improve the health and ultimately the welfare of people on campus. I'm curious as well, since we're having this conversation ahead of National No Smoking Day and the event that's taking place in Tues, maybe we're going to throw this out to the listeners. If you've any stories about quitting smoking or vaping that you think could encourage other people to even think about stopping, then get in touch with the programme. You can get me on david@midlands103.com or indeed sport@midlands103.com. Send me in your stories about quitting smoking or vaping, and we might put them together and put them out on a show in the next week or two. We may even revisit this story with Gary and see how the students got on Tuesday. Now, Gary, beyond the pharmacy technician programme, you're also the chair of the Two Athlone Green Campus Committee. Obviously, this is a major event for the committee itself, beyond the pharmacy side of things. Talk to us about the work of the committee and your role there in chairing it. What comes across your desk and how it all works?
Yeah, so this event sits as part of a big programme of events that we have for the entire week next week, because next week in Tusathlone and in university and third level campuses right across the country, it's actually Green Week as well. And as part of the Green Campus, we're busy working way towards an application for a green flag here in Tusathlone. And it ties really nicely into the efforts that we're trying to make in the Green Campus. So we're trying to promote environmental action and climate action. And that's our principal focus as part of the Green Campus Committee. And this smoking cessation event is so innately connected with that, because cigarettes and vapes are such a major source of environmental waste and littering, and can be really significant in terms of the damage they do to the environment. And similarly, smoking and vaping in terms of their impact on health. And that's a sustainability issue as well, because if people get sick, they're going to need more resources to look after them. And so by preventing all of that, you're not just preventing the litter and waste, but you're preventing all of the resources required to look after them. So this event sits really nicely, I suppose, with our efforts and the culmination of the healthcare and the environmental stuff, and to, tackle both issues together. Stop smoking, stop baking, stop the litter and the waste, but also stop the ill health and the knock-on climate consequences of that. We have a whole program of Green Campus events right throughout the week. There's a symposium on Thursday. There's workshops, there's talks. So it promises to be a fantastic week on campus as well. And I suppose for our pharmacy technician event, our perspective, this event then is the focus from those students' points of view.
Yeah, one of the things we like to say on Health and Fitness is we're here to try bring you or lead you towards a slightly healthier and happier life. And I think you're ticking those two boxes in a major way with the work that you're doing, Gary, as well as the students and everyone else at Two Athlone. The very best of luck with the event on Tuesday for National No Smoking Day, which of course is the day after on Ash Wednesday. Much appreciate you joining us on the programme this evening.
Thanks a million, David. Great to talk to you.
Remember, david@midlands103.com or sport@midlands103.com with your stories about giving up smoking or vaping. Let's help each other on this one. Now, it's becoming one of the most popular race series in the country. Offaly Athletics joins us next to talk about the Offaly 5K Road Race Series.
Health and Fitness with David Hollywoods on Midlands 103.
Next on Health and Fitness, we are turning our attention to the Healthy Offaly 5K Road Race Series. It's coming back for 2025. The chair of Offaly Athletics joins us on the programme to look forward to this event as well as the Offaly Endurance Series for 2025. That is, of course, Darren Butler. Darren, you're very welcome to the programme. Thanks for taking the time to come in to talk to us.
Thanks for inviting me in, Dave.
Let's start off with the Road Race Series itself. How are preparations going for this year's run of races?
Yeah, I suppose the preparations are well underway. The first race this year is hosted by Tullamore Harriers, which are very much used to hosting races all year round. So yeah, look, things are looking good.
Yeah, let's run through the races as they go in order. I'll go through them and then we might have a chat about a couple of them as we go through, Darren. The 9th of March is the Harriers 5K that you mentioned in Tullamore, 10 o'clock on the 9th of March. 6th of April at 10 o'clock in the morning is the 5K in Banagher, or hosted by Banagher AC. Clara Athletics are hosting the 5K in Clara on the 13th of April. Then we're off to Road on the 27th of the same month. In May, there's two races, one in Ferban on the 18th in the morning, and then an evening race in Ballyskinnock at 8 o'clock on the 30th of May. And then the last two events take place across June and then August. Nave Fuera in Dangan, 8 o'clock on the 13th of June, and then the 1st of August is the 7:30 kickoff for Burr AC's 5K. Darren, loads to look forward to. It's great that everyone who's involved in this series will get to basically do a tour of the county. As you mentioned, the Tullamore Harriers are kicking it off. They host plenty of big races every calendar year, and particularly the start of the road race series as well. It's become a bit of a fixture for the Tullamore Harriers.
Yeah, no, look, I suppose being the biggest club in the county, we generally probably maybe would attract the largest crowd, and I suppose the idea too is a lot of people new to running will probably do the Couch to 5K come January. And we would like them to come along and start off on the first race. And I suppose there's always a great atmosphere in Tullamore on the morning, so we would like those runners to continue on and move, as you said, move on to Banagher, move on to Clara, and do the other road races within the county.
You can't account for the kind of level of encouragement if you're doing a Couch to 5K and you get out for the Tullamore Harriers 5K in this Offaly Road Race series, and look, they were blessed with the weather, I think, last time. If there's decent weather, you get your 5K done, having gone from 0 maybe at the start of the year. Yeah. It's only natural you want to kick on then and go to the rest of them. Yeah,
no, it is. And I suppose we all have our own targets or our man-mark people in the races. So you might go to Tullamore and run the 5K there, and you might see someone that just has come in front of you. And then again, you might go on to Banagher, and he could be person you need to be in the next race. So there's always someone has a target on your back.
Yeah. So tell us, you've run in these races before.
Correct. Yeah.
Do you notice that, like, if you do, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, whatever, the whole thing, you start learning and realising who's on the same form as you over that period of time, and you gauge your races kind of through their positioning. That's an interesting subplot, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it's sometimes if you're new to running, you probably you probably don't know how to push the body as hard as you can. So I suppose with your first race, you might just cross the line. You say maybe there's a bit more in me. So and again, it's going after the next lad in front of you. You might see him on the start line of the next race, and he's going to be my pacer for the next race, and so on and so on.
Okay, that sounds great. Over the course of each of these events, the clubs do a very good job of kind of bringing their own flavour to each event. Talk us through sort of the highlights from your own perspective when you go out to these races. Is there anything in particular from anywhere in particular that you think is particularly interesting?
Yeah, I suppose first to know, all these races are hosted by athletics clubs, so they all have a good understanding how a race should be hosted and what's expected from athletes taking part in these races. So like they're all 5Ks. It's all the same cost to enter the race, and there's a template nearly there where everyone gets a cup of tea or a bun or a sandwich after the race, and there's a whole social side of it too, not just the race. It's the chat after the race.
I heard somewhere that the clubs provisions for sticking on the tea and the bun afterwards, that can be almost as competitive as the running.
Yeah, we used to give out a prize for that. So we did.
No way! You didn't realise that.
Yeah. No, there is. It's nearly a competition in itself at this stage.
That's great stuff. First things first, actually, just before we move on. The first one up is on the 9th of March in the Tullamore Harriers. People can still sign up for this.
Correct, yeah, you can still sign up for that on pop-up races. You can also sign up on the day if you're not sure whether you want to run it or not, or if you're going to be around and stuff. But yeah, generally we encourage everyone to sign up online on pop-up races.
Very good. Prizes are up for grabs as well.
Yeah, loads of prizes up for grabs. I suppose the prizes there, we have first, second and third finisher. We first junior, first over 40, first over 45, first over 50, first over 60, and we also have a first over 70.
Okay. So, I mean, look, I certainly now know from experience, having qualified for Masters races in the last couple of years, this really does open the fields back up for yourself. If whatever age you are, you can really race in your own category sometimes.
Definitely, yeah. And again, when you go online, you can see the races, the results afterwards, and you can, whether you're first over 40 or 10th over 40, you're in that's your slot that you're competing against.
Yeah, I do like that aspect of running. It's it keeps competitive interest for everyone going forward. races run by runners for runners. This is the spirit, I suppose, in which this road race series is carried through. As you say, the athletics clubs all around the county are behind each individual event. When this road race series started originally, did you ever envisage it becoming such a fixture in the calendar, not just in Offaly, I think in the region as well?
Yeah, I suppose really no. I suppose before the series started, many years ago, there wasn't as many races within the county, and I suppose as athletes we used to have to travel to get races in, and the races were all held at a different standard, and there was different. Some races were better than others, and that, and there might have been prize money, and there might not been prize money. So look, I suppose all the clubs got together within the county, and we set out, I suppose, a template on how we see races should be hosted. This has worked well. Every year we've grown the figures attending these races. Huge interest in athletics at the moment on the back of the success in the Olympics last year and the World Championships. So last week up in the indoors in Dublin, it was sold out, and there was a big demand for tickets online. And
it's amazing, isn't it?
So look, we envisage that we will see record numbers attending Tullamore 5K this year and for the rest of the races throughout the series.
Great stuff. If you want any more information, you can email info@offalyathletics.ie, or you can find Offaly Athletics on Facebook. That is the Healthy Offaly 5K Road Race Series this year. Just to run through the destinations once again, maybe there's one particularly local to you that you want to make sure you don't miss out on, or you want to take them all on. It's Tullamore on the 9th of March, Banagher on the 6th of April, 13th of April is Clara. Road hosts the event on the 27th of April. 2 races in May, for Ban on the 18th, Ballyshannock on the 30th, and then in June on the 13th it's Naivura in Dangan, and the 1st of August, that's the end of the series in Birr at 7:30 on that first day of August. Darren, the Offaly Endurance Series is running in tandem, of course, around this time of year over the course of the spring and the summer as well.
Yeah.
4 races over the course of the year, and the first one, the Aisling Murphy 4-miler, as ever, an incredibly important event, not just for runners in the county, the region and the country, but it's really turned into an important cultural and social event as well.
Yeah, correct. I suppose this race has grown year on year. It's not just open to runners, it's also open to walkers. So we generally let the walkers off about 15-20 minutes before the race starts. And again, it starts in the centre of the town, finishes in the centre of the town. Great atmosphere in the town that morning, and I suppose the race is led out by Aishling's father every year on his motorbike. So look, it really is a good atmosphere around the town. Yeah,
this of course is a memorial for Aisling Murphy. Alongside the fact that you bring walkers in, that Aisling's dad leads off the race, the fact that there's music involved as well, that really celebrates Aisling's history with music. She loved Kjol, generally speaking.
Yeah, and I suppose Ballyboy, Kjol has been very good to us over the last few years. We generally have them plotted at each mile mark.
It's special. It creates a different atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, go around the course and then at the finish line. And I suppose runners that come from outside the county that attend that, they've never seen that before, and it really is very touching. Yeah, I was walking it last year with my family, and 2 things struck me: the wonderful atmosphere, the real great spirit everyone involved in it brings, and the fact that when the race eventually ran past us, it's seriously competitive at the front of the race. Like there's guys turn up from outside the county with serious ability to run in this race. Yeah, correct. The national half marathon champion won it last year, and in a serious time. Every year, it's been very, very competitive. They're coming from Cork, they're coming from Dublin, they're coming from Mayo. They're coming from all over to run this race. Now, this is the endurance series, so it's somewhat different to the 5K series in the sense that I think you could have people listening this evening who might be considering
getting into doing longer distance running, for instance. And this is a brilliant series to introduce themselves to something over 5K to start with.
Yeah.
And then kind of stretching it out race by race. So I'll run through the races that we've got in store in this series. After the Aisling Murphy 4-miler, which we should say takes place in Tullamore Town Centre, as you said, Darren, that's on the Sunday, May 11th at 10 in the morning. Second race in the series is the Jack Cox 10K hosted by Kilcormac Kalahi AC in the Faithful Fields in Kilcormac on the 22nd of June. The Frank Kilrain 10 mile hosted by Eden Derry AC, that's at Derry Rovers track in Eden Derry on the 13th of July at 9:30 in the morning. And this all brings people towards the Tullamore Harriers Bordnamona Half Marathon, which is on the 30th of August on the Saturday. An absolutely massive race. And Darren, I suppose for anyone who mightn't have taken on a half marathon distance in their life before and they fancy looking at the Tullamore one, it's a great programme to get yourself into, to start with the 4 mile if you're not used to the long distances and let that series build you up.
Correct. I suppose, look, there will be runners running the 5K series. So I suppose initially we brought in the endurance series because we were saying we were only catering for 5K runners. So the longer distance runner wanted something. So we brought in this series as well. So look, there will be runners running the 5K and then they might go and test themselves running the 4 mile. And then that'll build them on. There's a small gap between the 4 mile and the 10K. And I suppose as the races go on, you'll probably get more confident, trying to. So they are spaced out every month, and they're spaced out every month for a reason, to build yourself up and get the training in. So we would hope that if you obviously get to the 10K, you might chance yourself at the 10 mile, and then you said, let's go for the half. So if that's your plan, I would encourage you to enter the half marathon straight away, because it is going to sell out. There is already big entries in it already. It incorporates the Offaly half marathon championships, the Leinster half marathon championships, and this year it's actually the National Half Marathon Championships. So a massive crowd expected at that this year.
Okay, great stuff. I know because I've been behind you enough times in training and races that you're handy enough, firstly, at the 5K distance. Talk us through, say if anyone listening is looking to pick up a tip or two, they're relatively novice to racing in 5Ks and that type of thing, and they've got a couple of weeks before maybe they're going to rock up to the Harriers to take on the Tullamore Harriers 5K in this road race series. What are the kinds of things they should be doing or shouldn't be doing in the last couple of weeks?
I suppose the one thing about running is, I suppose, if you're new to it, is just to be patient and give it time. I would always say to someone, give it 2 or 3 months, and then you will feel a change. You feel the fitness coming on. It won't happen overnight. You have to develop your breathing and get comfortable, with that. But you do need to give it a time. But there will be a point where it will click for you, and you will see big improvements. Yeah,
that's a nice thought, actually, that it's not so much do a couple of sessions and expect to be able to do this. If you're patient with it, it will come through. And I think you and I would both recognise that feeling of suddenly running with confidence, because you feel that you're really pushing yourself forward and you've got that fitness. It makes a big difference. Oh, massive. It's no different than someone coming back from injury, or you have to ease yourself into it. You have to take your time and be patient with the sport. But it's a brilliant sport when you do start to feel the fitness kicking in, and you are pushing the body to the limit. It is a great feeling. Oh, it's unbelievable. And, I think for different reasons, the longer distances offer a kind of different perspective, but the same kind of joy. In terms of preparing for the longer races generally, obviously running slower and longer in your training is probably a big part of getting the miles into the legs so you're comfortable on the day of the race. Yeah, look, I suppose training is not all about getting out there and running as hard as you can. It's about getting out there and getting the miles in. It's mainly time on the feet, really, and getting out. 2 or 3 days a week is not going to do it. If you plan to do the half marathon, you need maybe going out 4 or 5 days a week plus and getting the miles in. Okay, good stuff. You're running in the Tullamore Harriers 5K, Darren, are you?
I'll give it a go, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. How are you feeling about it?
Not where I want to be, but sure, look, we'll give it a go. We've 8 races there to get fit, so we'll start off with Tullamore and see how we go in after that.
You might be ready by Burr.
Might be ready by Burr, yeah.
All right, Chair of Offaly Athletics, Darren Butler, thanks for joining us on the programme.
Thanks a million, Dev.
Well, after recovering from trying to teach me ballet in Moat last year, the Leinster School of Dance has secured more All-Ireland success. You'll meet the dancers and the teacher next.
The French know luxury. Discover the all-new 251 DS Automobiles range at Hugo Luna Motors. Experience pure driving pleasure with DS Automobiles, the French luxury car company. DS's premium range stands out through its charismatic style, interior refinement, sophisticated technology and first-class comfort. Book your test drive today and discover the magic of DS Automobiles at hugolunamotors.ie.
Health and fitness with David Hollywoods on Midlands 103.
Next on Health and Fitness, we're turning our attention to the Leinster School of Dance. Regular listeners may remember that myself and Chloe Farrell headed out to the studio in Moat to learn a thing or two from Shauna Coffey, the owner of Leinster School of Dance, and her incredible students. And we're revisiting the school on the programme this evening because of some recent success. So obviously there's a studio in Moat. They've loads of studios across Dublin as well. Shauna is on the programme right now. Shauna, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Not at all. You guys were up in Belfast recently for the All-Irelands. You might tell us about the success you guys enjoyed.
We had a great time up in Belfast last weekend for the All-Irelands. It was the final. The girls had to compete in a quarter-final beforehand. That was in Dublin. And they qualified with their scores to bring them to the final up in Belfast. And we had 3 winners, which is amazing. We had a first, a second and a third place.
It's probably hard to quantify from their perspective at the ages they are, but that kind of experience, just priceless for young people to go into a scenario with a bit of pressure and a bit of expectation and to come out of it with a bit of success. Those are the building blocks for future success, really, aren't they?
It's so important for young people to have a goal, to work on it, and then to see, if I work really hard on this, wow, I'm going to be rewarded in some way. It doesn't have to be a trophy. It could be just praise from a parent or a teacher to support that, It's a great opportunity for them. It was really, really special.
I want to talk to you about how you actually go about teaching these children through the preparation process and all of that. But before we do that, I think it's high time that we actually heard from some of them. So without further ado, you're about to hear from Abby Evans, Amira Reynolds and Ava Dunn, who were all up in Belfast for the All-Irelands.
Hi, my name's Abby Evans and this is what happened at the All-Irelands. It was an amazing experience and there were amazing dancers from all over the country. And it was a little overwhelming, but the people were so kind there. And there was a very big crowd, but I loved it.
Hi, my name is Amira Reynolds. I'm 12 years old and I'm a dancer at Leinster School of Dance. I'm still in shock from the weekend. I just can't believe it. Winning an All-Ireland just makes you feel so special because you've worked so hard all year and it just comes out great in the end. You're also representing your dance school, which I think is really good. You're also getting all the attention from your friends and family. It's great.
Hi, my name is Ava. This is my first ever All-Ireland dance competition to ever go to. My favourite thing about dance is probably perfecting new moves, new dances. I love the competitions and shows and just getting better every day. And my dance teacher, Shauna, she is so amazing. She's the one who choreographed my Dance Survivor. And I just couldn't be happier to have a dance teacher like her. And she's constantly reminding me how great I am and how proud she is of me.
Yeah, big thanks to Abby, Amira and Ava there. Shauna, as we were listening in, it's just great to get an impression of what it means to them to have gone on this trip. And like for Ava, for her first experience of something like this, just priceless.
It is so amazing. It's unbelievable. It's incredible for the girls. They've worked so hard in class and taking extra classes and private lessons and going home and putting all that work in. So they totally deserve it. I couldn't be prouder of them.
You mentioned the work that they put in there, and I'm actually interested to learn about the dynamic that you have with the children. And I got a glimpse of it when I visited the studio in Moat, but by the sounds of it, like whatever their relationship is with dance and competition, they really care about it to the point that they're happy to put in extra hours as well.
Yeah, they absolutely love it, and they're always willing to learn and they're willing to grow, not just as a dancer, but as a person, taking all these opportunities and running with it. And that's what I'm here to do, to provide that platform, that safe environment where they feel comfortable to come with me with questions, or how do we do this, or I've seen this online and I've seen this on YouTube and I want to be like this, and how do I do that? And they're having that communication with me, and it's for me to return that with all this praise and enthusiasm and support for them to grow as a performer and as a dancer.
So they're really engaged with this discipline to the degree that even after the classes with you, they're looking this stuff up online, they're getting more ideas and that type of thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. They absolutely love it, and it's great to see my passion of dance being able to pass that down to others, and for them to run with it and create all these exciting things for them. It's just amazing.
Like this next question, maybe its home should be on the arts show rather than health and fitness, but it strikes me that, like, if you're young and you learn how to dance, your relationship with music becomes an important part of your life. Can you talk to me about your own relationship with music and how dance has informed how much you care about music?
Yeah, music is so important on a day-to-day basis, whether you're driving to work and you hear a song, you're like, God, that'd be good for a dancer. I love that beat in that song, and I see that move with this move, and it all kind of adds up. And also, music's an outlet. It's therapy. It's when you're having a bad day, you can put on a song and relate to it, and it helps you feel it, or it's to motivate you when you're going through that hard training session in a classroom. Like the girls put in tremendous amount of strength and conditioning programs, flexibility, cross-training into different aspects of sport, because I think a lot of people just think of dance as kind of floating around the stage, but it's much more than that. These girls are very, very strong, and I would consider them athletes, in my opinion.
Oh my God,
the workouts they do, yeah.
100%. I mean,
walking on their hands, the strength that would take in their upper body and their core strength, it's incredible.
Yeah, well, I was definitely sore for a day or two after trying to keep up with them when we visited your studio. Look, final question, Shauna, you've been great with your time this evening, is talk us through what's next for the Leinster School of Dance. What are the big things you've got on the horizon?
So we have another competition coming up. We have a few competitions. We have one in Belfast, another one in Belfast, another one in Dublin. We have our end of year show coming up, which is super exciting. And then we are also going to be teaming up with another festival. So we're teaming up with the Viking Festival in Athlone, and we're going to be performing at that. So it's great, there's lots coming up for the girls and boys,
Yeah, no, we were looking, and we've been covering that Athlone Viking Festival as well. It looks like it's going to be a great event.
It's very exciting, yeah.
Delighted to hear that you're involved in that. Look, Leinster School of Dance, if you're interested on behalf of your children, look them up online. You've been listening to Shauna Coffey, who's the owner, and very much a very welcome guest on Health and Fitness anytime she can find the time for us. Shauna, thanks again.
Thank you so much. Thank you, David. Thank you.
We'll be back with news of a remarkable record-setting attempt taking place in Laois.
Health and Fitness with David Hollywoods on Midlands 103.
Welcome back. Bridget Bennett is the principal of Ballyfin National School. She's been speaking to our reporter Jack Irwin about the Dash to 44 challenge.
On the 22nd of March, we are hoping to do something that, as far as we know, has never been achieved before. We are hoping that about 50 people from the greater Ballyfin area here will run at least one lap of a pitch in every one of the 44 GAA club grounds in Laois. in the one day.
You're fundraising, is that correct?
That's right. Yes, we're very lucky here in Ballyfin. We have a lovely school with wonderful facilities. My predecessor, Michael Maloney, did a great job here. And so we have a modern building, but unfortunately our yard is a bit tight. The Parents Association have twice extended the yard and tarmacked it, but it's still, we have 214 children. So when they're all out together, it can be, quite congested. We have a bit of a green area, but it's very wet. We're very lucky. We're right beside Ballyfin GA Club, and they are very generous with their grounds to us, but it also can be quite wet in the winter time. So for a number of years now, the Parents Association have been hoping to achieve an AstroTurf facility on the school grounds. That would mean that at lunchtime the children could play proper games of, GAA or rugby or soccer or whatever they want to play without running into each other or getting hit with balls or whatever. So we're very excited about this project at the moment.
And Bridget, just out of interest as well, how many well-known faces from around the community will be taking part on the day?
We have 50 people signed up for it, and I suppose they'd all be quite well known locally here. We have 6 staff members planning to run. Then in terms of people who might have a wider profile, Tommy Mulligan is a councillor for Portlaoise area. He's planning to run. The Connolly family, there's a lot of Connollys involved. They'd be very well known here locally in GA circles. Breed McGill would be known for her online profile and her Pilates, her reformer Pilates business. Michael Maloney would be a son of my predecessor here. They'd also be very well known locally. And I suppose a lot of people who have children and who don't have children in the school who would be well known in the Ballyfin area to support us.
Absolutely. And you're saying there that it could take the guts of the day. How long would you say roughly?
We're looking at about 14 and a half hours. I suppose I was saying to people here that there's three parts to this. There's the running, and since most of these people are actually very fit and enthusiastic, it'll be about a half marathon's worth of running broken up over the course of the day. So that mightn't be too bad. Thank God the sponsorship is doing well. People, as I say, are being very, very generous. So the money is coming into us, and please God, it will continue to do so over the next number of weeks. Really, the biggest issue might be trying to keep ourselves on time, because it's going to have to be a very tight schedule. We plan to leave Ballyfin here at 5:30 on the Saturday morning. We are heading then to Rosenallis and up around the north of the county and back around down as far as Graiguecullen, over as far as Kyle. And we hope to be back in Ballyfin around 8:30 that evening. And that's with 10 minutes in each place. A few stops for toilet breaks and tea breaks and things as well. But it is going to be very tightly scheduled throughout the day. So that nearly is the hardest part of the challenge, to try to keep ourselves on task and get it done within a relatively reasonable amount of time.
Absolutely. And just, you said there was 50 runners taking part. Is there any more spaces left, or have you the 50 got?
We have the 50 got, but I suppose if there's anybody that would like to do it, we'd be very happy. The more the merrier, in a sense. But we were very, as I say, we were very impressed with how many people came on board. And we're happy to do it. We have set up an iDonate page, and each of those people have their own iDonate login. And the minimum requirement was that they would raise €500 each. And if anyone looks up our iDonate page, www.idonate.ie/event/-44, they will see that actually a lot of people have raised well over the €500. So we're delighted with that. We're delighted with how it's going. Taking place Saturday the 22nd of March.
Perfect. And where did you say it was going to start?
Here in Ballyfin GA Club, and we're hoping to arrive back to Ballyfin GA Club that evening. So we're starting at 5:30 in the morning. We're hoping to be back around, all going well, around 8:30 in the evening. There's plenty of information. The Ballyfin National Schools Facebook page, Ballyfin National School Parents Association Facebook page has information, and also their Instagram as well.
And I think you touched on it earlier as well when we were saying it. How much has been raised so far, and what's the target amount?
Yes, we're hoping to raise about 50,000 overall this year to go towards the AstroTurf. We have 27,000 in, I think, on the iDonate there a few minutes ago. So we're doing well, but there's still a way to go.
Of course, but you're getting there, and that's the main thing. And as well, just for the listeners again, if you just want to go over the website again, and where can people donate?
Yes, so it's the iDonate page is www.idonate.ie/event/-44. And that brings you to the general overall page. And underneath that, then there's the 50 participants. There's a link to each of those 50 participants and their own iDonate page. So if somebody wants to donate to the overall iDonate page, that's wonderful. Or if they know a particular person or there's somebody that catches their eye there and that they would like to donate to, that works too.
And then I suppose just touching on yourselves, the school, I suppose the long-term plans for the school, as you know, getting in this AstroTurf pitch would be brilliant just for the school, but for the local community as well.
Exactly, yeah. No, we're really looking forward to it, and we're hoping that it will be a great asset to the GAA club and people around here, obviously subject to insurance and licence arrangements and all of that, but we would certainly hope that it's something that would benefit the whole community, as well as the children in the school.
That's perfect, Bridget. Look, thanks for taking the time to talk to us, and we wish everyone involved the best of luck, and hopefully you'll get a good day weather-wise for it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That will make it much more enjoyable. It'll be miserable altogether if it's raining, but please God, we'll be lucky. A lovely bright day now would be great.
We'll talk to you again, Bridget. All the best.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you so much, as ever, for taking the time to sit down with me over the last hour or so. Joe Cooney's back with Country Roads after the news at 8. Jack and I will talk to you next week. Have a good one.